everyone, we have another video now to work some beam skills for us. Yet again, just like our last one, if you've already watched it, you don't necessarily need a beam. However, if you have a beam at home, bonus points. However, you can use any type of line that you have on the ground, whether it's inside your house, in your backyard. If your parents allow you to put some masking tape or something down on the floor just to signal a line like a beam, you can use that. So use your creativity and try and think of something that looks somewhat like a beam that you can use for this exercise. So we're going to work some rows, and now my beam is quite short, but hopefully your one at home will be a little bit longer. Otherwise, you can just double the length that you do. So we're going to start with some rows of things that we can work to keep up our beam skills. Now the aim of these rows is you want to be able to walk along your beam and try not to fall off as you do them. So we're going to start with some simple items, and then they'll get a little bit harder. Some things to work out balancing, some things to work out jumping, and some different locomotion activities that you can do on your beam. So to start, we're going to do some simple releve walks. So when we start our releves, we always want to do a check up through our body. So you want to stand facing forwards, check that your knees are tight, legs are squeezed, bottom squeeze, belly squeeze, shoulders are back, arms are straight, fingers are nice, and your chins are up. We're going to rise up into our releve. I'm going to do some strong releve steps, making sure that we don't bend our leg as it comes through. Once you've done your length of those, you can either choose to do a half turn, to turn around and go forwards on the way back, or you can go backwards on the way back. Keeping that straight posture, trying to walk on your beam as you go down. Whoop, my beam finished there. So whenever we get to the end of the beam and we want to turn around, we want to make sure that we do it with a nice half turn on 2 feet. So the next thing that we can do is our step kicks. Now this is working towards our active flexibility, so we want nice high kicks, making sure that your legs stay straight. We don't want a big kick that comes up here with a bendy bottom leg. We want to make sure our legs stay really straight. Tall posture throughout your torso. I like arms here, you put them where you would like them. Put your foot in front, and we do a big kick, forwards kicks all the way down your beam. At the end, arms down, rise up into your releve, half turn, heels down. If you'd like to do an extended version of that, you can do a row of step kicks in releve. So rise up onto your toes, and then you can do kicks on your tippy toes. And your releve half turn at the end of the beam. I do only have a short beam, so if yours is as short as mine, maybe do 2 legs, so go up and back. Now we can do some side kicks. So same deal, nice posture, put your foot in front, kick your foot off to the side, but still forwards. Half turn at the end. For an extended version, on your tippy toes, side kicks. Lastly, we can do our backwards kicks. So, the arms are optional. Some of your coaches may get you to walk and circle your arms as you kick. Otherwise, you may just kick them out in a present. We're going to walk forwards, but we're going to kick our leg backwards. Making sure we keep our chest up the whole time. Releve, half turn. Yet again, as an extension, you can do releve backwards kicks on the way back. As another extension, you can try needle kicks. So these are tricky on the floor and even trickier on a beam. So please make sure you've tried these on the floor first and that you can do them confidently on the floor before you try them on the beam. These aren't a fast kick like the others. You want them slower and controlled so that you know you're not going to fall off whatever your line or beam is. So I like an underarm circle into a needle kick. Do them how you have done them in your gymnastics class. So we're going to stand on our beam. I'm going to do an underarm circle, reach for my beam, kick my top leg, come up tall. Underarm, kick, tall. And you can go down your beam like that. Now, a common error of a needle kick is a twisted top hip. All right, so you want to make sure that when you're doing your needles, your hips are facing forwards and you're not turning them out to your back leg. So you can do that all the way down your beam. To make it even harder, when you get to the end, try facing the side of your beam And you can try some needles facing the side. Now these get tricky, and depending on whether you've got a line or an actual beam, makes them even trickier. But you want to try and put your hands in line with your bottom foot, point your back foot behind you, and try 5 kicks in a row. Now if you need to bend your bottom leg, you can. If you need to bend it to put your hands down. Now you want to do these on both feet, and the trick of it is to have your hands in the straight line with your bottom leg. It makes you use your core to not topple over, to keep your balance going down over the top of the beam. Do both legs, and then we can get ready for the next one. So now we're going to do some jumping elements. So we've done our walking and our kicks. We're going to do some jumping. So we're going to start with some simple straight jumps. All right, make sure that if you're doing these, they're safe, and you've got something that's not too hard to land on. I'm going to do mine with my beam feet, so one a little bit in front of the other. So we're going to start the way that your coach asks you to start your straight jumps. Swing, jump, motorbike. All right, and then I like to take a step, and I'm going to go again. Making sure that in the air you're in a nice straight line, your legs are really straight, you've pointed through your toes as you've jumped. And you hit that nice landing shape at the end. Beautiful. Now that we've practiced up some jumping, we're going to do some long jumps. Now my beam isn't very long, so I'll probably only fit 1 or so jumps in. But if yours is longer, keep going. See how long your jump can be, making sure that you're landing nicely afterwards. So I'm going to do a big swing, jump. I didn't land with my beam feet, but that's okay. All right, so if I'm doing mine, I might turn around and do that about 4 times because my beam's very short. As an extension model, we can do some squats. I call them squat traveling foot changes, but I know that's not their real name. That's just my lingo. You can give it a go. So we're going to squat down 1 foot in front of the other, arms up, keeping that tall posture. Now we want to releve through our bottom feet. We don't want to have flat feet. We want to releve up, and you're going to jump up, swap legs in the air, and land back on your beam. Do it again. Back on your beam. Now these are a tricky one, so don't try them unless you can do them on the floor first. Make sure you keep a nice posture as you go throughout them. Now's your chance to try some other jumps that you are safely capable of doing on your line. So that might be ones you've been working on at gymnastics, as long as you know it's safe to do them. Please don't try any acrobatics or anything like that. Just keep it to jumps. So you might try a straight jump, You could do a straight jump, tap jump, a split jump alone, a straight jump, split jump, whatever you've been working on. Practice some of your jumps down the line, remembering your beam feet and your proper landings. Do that all the way down your beam, and I'd probably challenge you to do that a few lengths of your beam. So get a good number of jumps in. If you've tried them in class before, you can also do some turning jumps. Start with just little turns, so start with maybe half turn. And you can increase that to do full turn or turning jumps, but they're very tricky, so make sure they're safe. We're going to move on to do some elements for a split leap. So we're going to do some hops with our leg up in front of us. You'll lift it. Now this one you're allowed to bend your support leg because we want to hop through our support leg. Arms back, nice posture, front leg up, and we're going to do some hops down the beam. Now you want to swap legs and do it on the other leg on the way back. These can be slow if you need to make them slow to keep your balance, or they can be fast. Making sure you maintain your posture the whole time. We're going to do the same thing, but with our back leg up behind us. Yet again, they can be fast or slow. And doing the other leg on the way back. From here, if it is safe to do so, you can work some little split leaps and then towards some bigger ones. Make sure if you're doing any split elements, you've warmed up your lunges and your splits on the floor first before you give them a go on your line. I'm just going to do some little ones. just because I've only got a small beam. So we're just going to do some little, I'm just going to go one step, landing an arabesque. This is a good one to do to warm up before you practice any other split leaps. And then I can do a one step into a split leap, making sure I finish, and shoulders back. Now, when you do your split leaps, you can make sure your legs are straight, toes are pointed, something that my split leaps may not always have. So from there, it's up to you. You can practice some turns. This is a great time to practice those skills that you do in gymnastics that are safe to do on your line. So you can practice some turns, whether that's your releve turns on 2 feet or your passe turns, making sure you keep them on your beam. These don't have to move down your beam, but they can if you'd like. Just try and get through 5 to 10 numbers of those. You can do some full turns if you've been practicing those as well. These are things that we can do that are safe at home, whereas we don't want to be touching anything that's an acrobatic element that's unsafe to do outside of the gym without our coaches and our safe equipment. Another thing that you could try at this point is some handstands on your beam, making sure we remember our nice technique, stretching tall, lunging long, stretching up through our body in the handstand and landing properly. Those are some things you can do down your beam as well, or your line, or whatever you're using as a beam. Thanks for watching our beam elements.